Hey guys, it's Gummo, and yet another battle report. I'm smashing through them at the moment. Hope you don't get too sick of my voice, but I'm finally caught up with games that I've just played pretty recently. So I've got two now that I played yesterday at our club day, one of which is a slow go, and the other one's a 2500 point, just random casual game. So 1500 points is our slow go limit this month, and I've got my demons and taken on some dwarves. The dwarf player just sort of came to our club a couple of months ago, so he's not all fully painted yet, and sort of catching up with everyone, I guess. But yeah, more the merrier, really, especially at this sort of point in the Warhammer life cycle. So I run through. I didn't get a great picture of deployment here, so sorry about that. Just magic wise, I've got two horror units, a 15 and a 10. The 15 got Blue Fire and the 10 got Infernal Gateway, and I've got a level 2 Herald with Glean and Trees, and I just kept them because to try and get Infernal Gateway. The little Herald guy on the disc down the bottom left there is a Metal Mage. He's just got, I'd like to say, it's Enchanted Blades, that's right. Yep, I didn't. There's no use dropping a Searing Doom because he doesn't really have a whole lot of armor. I think they're mostly all 5-ups and stuff. Running through his by the look of it. So 20 Thunderers, a big unit of 40 Great Weapon Warriors. He's got a Runesmith in there with the Spellbreaking Rune. I think Rune of Stone on all his characters. And a BSB with a Rune of Stone. Obviously the Runesmith is his general at this level. You are allowed to have Lords now at 1500 points, but neither of us do. He's got two organ guns. The one on the right there has runed up with the Rune of Accuracy. He's got 20 Quarrelers. What have I got here? Do I have mine? No. Here we go. Just got close-ups of mine. Flesh Hounds are just sitting up there so I don't forget to ambush them. So I've got a Burning Chariot out on the left. I've got my 15 Horrors. Notice the round bases. So I'm starting to round base some of the Horrors purely for, well, who knows what happens in Knights, but just as the back rank. So I can sort of fit them in because they're just so hard to rank up. So it's actually hide them in the back and sort of can move them as I need to try and make them rank up, although they're just all thrown in there at the moment. My Herald's in that unit as well. You got Blood Crushers, some Screamers at the front, Skull Cannon, my level 1 Heralds. They're all just casting on the left. The Infernal Gateway guys are basically going to head up to that rock skull thing. Throw some Screamers over here. They were sort of first drops. So I sort of made him, the way I was dropping, I sort of made him spread out a bit, and it sort of worked. So I just didn't want him casting up. I knew I was playing this player and knew his list. It's not a massively scary list, but in terms of trying to get points out of it with my army, which isn't really built for combat, this is going to be hard. So I mean, going into the day, my thoughts were always going to be obviously get rid of his organ guns before I even get close. So that's going to have to be my skull cannon. It's the only thing with range. But then the table board ended up being very useful for me. So with that impassable in the middle, sorry about the bad pictures here. The impassable in the middle, I thought, looking at it, well, if I get my Infernal Gateway guys right behind them, even if he's shooting at me, he's getting, some good minuses. So hopefully I can get in range of that 24 inches and use it as well to get rid of the organ guns. The ballistic skill shooting I'm not as worried about, but at the same time, I was going to attack it with Screamers, get out their arcs, stuff like that, and use the Flesh Hounds and Screamers in combination to try to take out one set of units, and then I'd pretty much be up. Not sure how I'm going to deal with a big unit of 40 Great Weapon Warriors unless I can keep Infernal Gatewaying through 6 turns. With the Rune of Spellbreaking, there's 50% chance I'm not going to have it, I guess. Yes, I don't know. Some of these pictures, I don't know what happened when I was importing them. They went a bit spastic. Sorry about that. This is just my turn 1. Basically, my 15 horrors plonk in the building. And the rest of my army moves up, but out of range of those 24-inch handgunners and the 30-inch, what are they called? Organ guns. Except for my horrors, who go right up behind that skull and getting hard cover now, which is cool. My Screamers, there's no use throwing them in just yet. I want to see what I get with shooting magic. Magic was 11 to 6. Actually rolled 10 on the thing, so I got a 4 up ward save for the round. That's not too bad. I 5 dice blue fire and get 2 wounds on the right hand organ gun, which isn't too bad. But then I 6 dice, and I got that irresistibly. And then I 6 dice. I think I only blew up a couple of horrors, so it wasn't too bad. 6 dice Infernal Gateway. Get it off irresistibly as well. And I do no wounds to that right hand organ gun. Yeah, kind of crazy. So I have to relegate to shooting it with the skull cannon, and yeah, it doesn't misfire for a change, and I take it off. So yeah, a lot of effort just to get rid of 3 wounds, but you know, worth it since that's the one with the accuracy. It's going to do a lot of the damage. So into his turn, I mean, I feel slack because I'm playing very elfy in this game. I'm just basically staying out of everything. I don't think he had any shooting really in range. Except the organ gun, which I don't think really ended up doing anything. So his warriors actually start moving up. And these guys, I think, were just in range, a few of them, and they only take off 1 horror. The other horrors I lost from Infernal Gateway. Oh no, I must have lost 2 from Infernal Gateway. No, I must have only lost 1 from the miscast, which is pretty good. And then he took off 1 with the Quarrelers. So I'll take that. My turn 2, the Fleshhounds come on, and we just plonk them here. Don't want to go in just yet. I'll bring the Screamers over as well. So that's what I'll do. I'll bring the Screamers over. They're in charge range. They're in charge range, and they're getting, again, hard cover or some type of modifier. Because of that hill there, there's not many that can be seen. I've only got 1 peeking around the corner so I can see for a charge. And yeah, I know the chariot's a point sink, so I'm just basically moving it down the side there, out of 30-inch range of that other organ gun. Everyone's staying back pretty much. Magic again is 11 to 6. Rolled 10 on the chart, Winter Magic. So I'm on 4+ ward again. I'm very happy with the way the game started. But I throw 6 dice at Infernal Gateway again, and this time I don't get it off irresistibly. He gets scrolled and eaten. So there goes the crutch. So I've got to do it without my crutch. That's okay. Yeah, not a whole lot of movement. Oh, look at that. Don't think I did anything. Maybe even just backed up the blood crushers. Except the skull cannon. It takes out the other one. So pretty happy to get rid of those pieces of artillery. So yeah, so I mean at this point he's admitting that he thought maybe I'd rush at him, so he was right back. And I said, yeah, I mean it depends on what demon players army you're facing. You know, a Nurgle would have been coming across the board at you, but I don't have combat, so I have to play a little bit dancier. So yeah, his warriors now just going 6 inches, wheeling 6 inches and heading as far as they can. The Thunderers go into a bit of a bus formation and just turn around to take on the charge. I can't remember if these guys moved or not. Maybe they didn't, because they are in range, I think, of those other horrors still. So I go into my turn 3. I move the Screamers over. I was going to charge, and I thought, no, I've got time to just wait one more round here. So I flew just over them and I killed 1 dwarf. But the idea being here that I might be able to get, make him charge one of my guys and hopefully survive and get some flank charges and maybe even get that chariot in there as well. I have moved the blood crushers up as well a little bit now that the organ guns, they don't have as much worry, but I'm staying out of his 16-inch charge or whatever he can do. Actually, it was 15. That's right. For some reason I think it was 18. I was adding 6, 12, and then next turn I realised it was 15. I could have been up a lot further. So now that I don't have Infernal, I just start backing up my horrors, trying to get out of the range of these Quarrelers. And Magic's 3 dice to 2, so not as great as last time, but I do manage to blue fire this unit, take off a few, and then get a cannon straight down a rank and take off a whole rank. So now that unit's much more beatable now with what I've got over there. That's just showing that, I think. He does end up with a 6-up regen from that though. And his turn, so he goes in with his Thunderers into my Screamers. Trying to do some damage. And these guys just marching up as fast as they can. But he fails his fear test, and that helps massively. So he doesn't even fail. He doesn't do a wound. I actually do a wound back, and he obviously sticks with his. And he's actually out of BSB range at the moment, but still leadership 9 or whatever it is. So my turn 4. I'm in with the Flush Hounds. I should be able to take these guys out, and then bring the other Screamers around. They're out of arc of that big unit. You can see I've lost a few more horrors from the shots. But yeah, they're just running do swift reform and moving as fast back into the backfield as fast as they can get. Starting to move the Blood Crushers a little bit more up and the cannon up. Figuring that at some point he's going to get a charge and just try and surround him. The other horrors are camped out in the building, as you do with the 8th edition rules. Actually, my wizard, you can see, so I've flown my herald up over there now. He's in 24 inches of pretty much everything, so he can start giving him enchanted blades. And Daemons turn 4, eh? So what's happened here? And that's just a closer pick. Yeah, I think there's just a close-up pick. So yeah, Magic Phase comes along. It's 7-3. Get enchanted blades up on my Flush Hounds. And that's enough to pop the Dwarves. Whoops, sorry. And yeah, not sure. That's right. I didn't even bother casting any other spells and stuff at that order. I want to avoid giving it a ward save. Well, that was the plan. His turn 5, he didn't do a lot. I think he just shot. Those horrors were still just in range or something, and he shot a couple of them off. I think that's what happened. So I go into turn 5. Actually, maybe he didn't on that turn, because there's still 5, so he mustn't have. So my turn 5 now, I end up chaffing up his. So I send the 3 Screamers in front of that big horde. He's going to have to ignore it, or he's going to have to charge it, and then either pursue or like overrun or reform to try and get ready for nearly everything in my army charging it now. I don't know. In a normal game, maybe I wouldn't even charge it and just take the win. But, I feel sorry. Like the way it's just dancing around, we might as well have some combat. So I'm planning on going in at turn 6. So yeah, I don't really want to throw any magic at that unit. So I don't throw any magic. I get enchanted blades up on my Screamers just... yeah, I don't know why, really. I should have... Yeah, well, I guess it was going to be the only thing that was going to be in combat. So, yeah, I elected not to do any blue fire or anything at the Horde. And then I just directly went and shot a grape shot into it, not realising it. Well, I knew it was Warp Flame, I just didn't think. I'd already rolled the dice and I went, I'm an idiot. So we did the damage, killed one dwarf, and he got 6-up regens. So, I don't know why I did that. It sort of ends up costing me a little bit. So he goes in on his turn 5, and yeah, he smashes them. These guys are in range again, and I lose 3 of them to some quarrel shooting. There's a 6-up regen. Looks like I only killed one dwarf. And I think what happened, I did kill a lot more, and he regened them all. And then, yeah, after just some discussion, the best thing to do was to overrun, try to get as far away from the charges as he could. So he did that, and in my turn 6, it meant that my Flash Hounds, my Chariot, failed to make the charge, and the only thing I got in was the Screamers, the Chariot, so the Skull Crusher and the Skull Cannon and the Blood Crushers. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, you guys can really mess me up. Not in the first round, but in your round, you could. So after that, we take off a bunch of dwarves. He takes a Screamer off, and he's not going anywhere, so he reforms. He's facing the Screamers, I think, now. And these guys try to take out, in his last turn, try to take out these guys, and they all miss. So he doesn't get points for that. But he does manage to kill those Screamers off. I mean, that's 6-up. I think he saved at least 8, or 6 to 8, something like that. what's we call it? Dwarves from the regen. So I don't think it was enough, but it was pretty close. It was close to the point where I could have almost broken his steadfast by, um, if I hadn't have given him the regen. But I mean, I didn't even think I'd kill that many dwarves, so it's not like it really hurt that bad. But in the end, so we do end up winning. It wasn't a massive victory. It's just by about 315 points. I mean, that unit, his dwarf unit and his heroes is well over half his army, and so the only thing I've ended up doing is taking out a unit of Thunderers, 2 war machines, and he got a unit of Screamers. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how it went. Not so happy with the fact that I had to dance around, not give him a game, but at this point I want to try and use these guys how they're supposed to, so that's what I'm trying to learn. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the slow go. I've got a 2,500 point army, Empire versus another Demons player coming up soon, so get ready for that one. Cheers guys, bye.